This is Cieszyn in southern Poland. Cieszyn is located on the Olza river, which is also the border with Czechia. Today there are several bridges across the river, and one would not know that one's in another country were it not for the signs looking different and a different language being spoken. In some ways this is similar to the situation that existed before 1919, when the whole region was part of Austro Hungary and Cieszyn was largely a German-speaking town. The border has existed here since the end of the First World War, except for a brief period when Cesky Teschin was occupied first of all by Poland in October 1938 and then for 5.5 years by Nazi Germany. Although the Polish government had been happy to attack Czechoslovakia in 1938, within a few months the danger from Nazi Germany was utterly clear, particularly after the military occupation of all of Bohemia and Moravia in March 1939. In April 1939, on the outskirts of Cieszyn, fortification works were started. The Polish plan in the case of war was to withdraw to the Olza River and then, if necessary, through delaying actions, fall back to a main line of defence prepared near Bielsko Biała. The Polish army held positions on the southern and western approaches to Cieszyn. Artillery support was provided by a squadron from the 21st Light Artillery Regiment with 100mm howitzers and 75mm cannons. The 3rd Battalion, under the command of Major Stefan Meyer, was in the main position in the Jaworze-Jasienica area in the valley of the Wapianica River. The original plan was to attack Poland at 04:25 on the 26th of August 1939. A number of false flag and terrorist operations were planned in support of this attack. However, when Hitler learned that the UK had promised support if Poland was attacked, he cancelled the false flag and commando operations which were planned. One of these commando groups, or terrorist groups, which is probably the correct word in these circumstances, was to capture the railway tunnel and railway station at Mosta in the Jabłonków Pass in the Carpathians, which was strategically important then as being part of an important transport route and the shortest connection between Warsaw and Vienna by rail. This area of Czechoslovakia had been occupied by Poland in October 1938. In the summer of 1939, by which time the danger from Nazi Germany was apparent, the tunnel had been prepared for demolition. All of the terrorist attacks by Nazi Germany, which had been planned for the early hours of the 26th of August 1939, were recalled, except for one. Word did not reach those terrorists about to attack the tunnel and railway station. The attack went ahead as planned and the railway station fell into the hands of the terrorists, but thanks to the bravery of a female telephonist, the alarm was raised and the tunnel was not captured. The Germans were counterattacked, the station was recaptured, and by midday all of the terrorists had scattered. Very quickly on learning what had happened, the commander of the German 7th Infantry Division, Generalmajor Eugen Ott, apologized most profusely to his opposite number, General Josef Kustron, commander of the Polish 21st Mountain Infantry Division. Ott claimed, somewhat disingenuously, given the amount of terrorists involved, that the commander had gone mad and had decided to attack Poland all by himself. The distance from Jabłonków to Cieszyn by road is only 35 kilometers. As it happened, the tunnel at Jabłonków was blown up at around 0600 on the 1st of September 1939 within sight of the approaching German troops. It was back in service 5 months later, but it was not available for use during the Polish campaign.
Inzwischen sind unsere Truppen über die deutsch-polnische Grenze zum Gegenangriff vorgegangen. So beseitigte man Grenzen, mit denen die Hassapostel von Versailles glaubten, deutsche Volksgenossen vom Deutschen Reich trennen zu können.
The initial attack on Poland has been dealt with in other videos, but it happened at the other end of the country. Cieszyn is in the south, and the first attacks were made in the north. During the early hours of the 1st of September 1939, the first Polish victims of Nazi aggression in World War II were killed in the village of Simonsdorf in the free city of Danzig.
Auch das Schulschiff Schleswig-Holstein nahm die Westerplatte unter Feuer.
At around 04:45, the cruiser Schleswig-Holstein opened fire at Polish positions on the Westerplatte in the free city of Danzig, overlooking the entrance to the dead Vistula waterway. Around 10 or so minutes later, the Polish positions at Cieszyn were shelled by German planes, as a result of which the commander of the reconnaissance company, Lieutenant Franciszek Schindler, was killed. Around 06:30, the reconnaissance units of the German 45th Infantry Division, commanded by the 54-year-old Austrian general Friedrich Materna, approached Cieszyn. The first clashes with advanced Polish outposts in Mastrowice and Stanisławowice took place. By the afternoon, German infantry had reached the town and attempted to bypass it, crossing the ford on the Olza River in the area of the defensive position in Bogoszowice to the north of Cieszyn. This was thwarted when the attackers were met with machine gun and other fire coming from a bunker named Anna and from soldiers in nearby buildings. In response, the Germans brought up a field gun and fired unsuccessfully on the bunker. Defence support was provided by 4 PZL P-11 fighters stationed at the Aleksandrowice airfield near Bielsko. At around 0800, Corporal Jan Kremski from the 121st Fighter Squadron and 2nd Lieutenant Bronisław Skibinski from the 122nd Fighter Squadron attacked a formation of 5 German planes. During the fight, Corporal Kreminski shot down a German Dornier 17 to the south of Cieszyn, but the plane of 2nd Lieutenant Skibinski was hit and crash-landed at Aleksandrowice. The command of the Polish 21st Highland Infantry Division decided to withdraw from Cieszyn. The commander of the 1st Battalion, Major Pearl, was in favour of continued resistance in the city due to the successful defence of the Olza River line. Despite strong pressure from him, the 14th Regiment received an order from General Kustron to withdraw through Skoczów to Bielsko, whilst the 1st Battalion, after passing Skoczów, was to man the defensive line north of this town. At around 1500, all 3 bridges, 2 road and 1 railway, at Cieszyn over the Olza River were destroyed. At around 1600 hours, Polish troops withdrew, and so began the nightmare of 5.5 years of Nazi occupation. I hope you found this video interesting, and in a future video I'll look at resistance to the Nazi occupation in Cieszyn and the mass hanging which took place there in 1942 as a reprisal to resistance activities. I upload every Friday at 2000 hours and sometimes at other times as well. I'm based in Poland and Germany, so that's Central European time when I'm uploading, and that's where my videos are largely coming from. My specialist area in history is the Second World War. Thanks very much for watching.